You ever see a house that's more paranoid than its owner? We're talking motion sensors, metal doors, electronic alarms, backup alarms, alarms for the backup alarms, and a dog named Worm that looks like it eats bricks for breakfast. This isn't some secret military base. No, it's just one guy, living alone, behind enough metal to withstand a zombie apocalypse. And the worst part? Even he's not sure all this will keep him safe. Every day he takes Worm for a walk, and I say takes lightly, because it's more like Worm drags him down the street like a rag doll with anxiety. When people stop and say, "Wow, that's a beautiful dog," he panics, because he knows this beautiful dog might just rip their face off. And there's nothing he can do about it. From his internal dialogue, because this story is all told in the first person present, we know he's not in control of this dog. In fact, he's scared of Worm, his own dog.
Oh, no. You're kidding me.
Now here's the kicker. The alarms in his house keep going off randomly. So instead of sleeping, this guy spends his nights checking motion sensors, resetting alarms, looking at flickering red lights, and maybe whispering to Worm, "Please don't eat the electrician when he comes to fix this." His neighbors are not impressed. Because nothing says good morning like your next-door neighbor's alarm going off at 3 a.m. while his dog howls like a werewolf. Now, add a cursed oak tree into the mix. His neighbor owns this massive old oak that's bent at such a ridiculous angle, it looks like it's preparing to take a nap on our narrator's house. And he has nightmares about it. He's done the math. If the tree falls, the damage will be bad. But, and this comforts him, his garage will survive. Yeah, the garage. Not the kitchen, not the living room. The garage. Because when your house is falling apart and your dog is killing things, at least you can still park your car.
Where did I park my car? Oh, no.
One day, as if his dreams turned into a to-do list for Mother Nature, he walks out and sees part of the oak has actually broken off. It's smashed into the wall. Now you'd think, aha, he's going to march over to the neighbor's house and have a civilized conversation. Nope, he just observes it, takes mental notes, and continues walking Worm.
That's not my problem right now.
And this is when the real horror begins. A sweet little spaniel trots over to say hello to Worm. Cue dramatic music. Without warning, Worm grabs the spaniel and strangles it to death. Dead. And our narrator, helpless, powerless, terrified. He cannot make Worm let go. He just stands there while Worm, in his own time, releases the lifeless body of the spaniel. And the man says nothing. Because what can he say? Sorry, my dog's going through something?
I don't think I can stomach any more of this garbage.
The story you've just heard is called The Life of Worm by Ken Barris. It was shortlisted for the 11th Kane Prize for African Writing in 2010, and for good reason. Now let's talk about the story itself. This is a strange little tale. At face value, it appears to be about a man and his violent dog and a tree that needs pruning. In fact, taken at face value, it portrays nothing. Absolutely nothing. But take a second look, and you realize it's about everything. This man is terrified, not just of crime or danger, but of life itself. He lives in a fortress, and yet he still feels unsafe. He has the fiercest dog on the street, but he's scared of it. His sense of control is fake. His protection? Fragile. He doesn't confront his neighbor about the dangerous oak tree. He doesn't intervene when his dog kills another. He procrastinates, obsesses, panics, calculates, but never acts. And isn't that a little too familiar? We live in a world where fear defines us. We install cameras, set alarms, cross-check locks. But what we fear most, loss, death, violence, is never something we can fully prevent. It has this Kafka-esque feel, for things begin almost at nothing and develops into something different. Just like in Kafka's world, the story starts off ordinary, a man walking a dog. But by the end, we're asking deep existential questions. What do we actually control? Are our fears irrational, or are they just exaggerated versions of reality? When faced with daily dangers, burglary, death, accidents, violence, how do we cope? Through internal monologue, Barris allows us to sit in the character's fear-soaked mind. We hear his thoughts as he spirals, making sense of a world he doesn't trust.
What is happening? I feel loopy.
The story is featured in the A Life in Full anthology, a collection of stories shortlisted for the Kane Prize in 2010. But whether or not the life of Worm should have won the prize, that's subjective. As to it winning the award would have depended on the meanings attributed it, not what it says. And since attribution is a subjective endeavor, it is difficult to speak for or against it not winning. In other words, it's not about what the story says. It's about what it makes you feel. And for me, it left me thinking long after I read the final sentence. About Ken Barris. Ken Barris lives in Cape Town, South Africa, and he wears many hats: poet, novelist, and short story author. His accolades include the Quick Brown Fox winner of the 2006 Thomas